Richard Marsh, Apprenticeship Partnership Director at Kaplan Financial.
Can we talk about how to keep Ofsted and the employer happy?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the key for all AELP members and all training providers anywhere across the country, really. How do you balance the needs of your clients and customers and learners against the balance and the needs for Ofsted and the government? So this morning we've been talking about in a demand-led system where the employer holds the levers of funding through the levy or other mechanisms. How do we give them what they want and allow them to design programs, but also make sure that it meets all of the rules and the good practice that the government quite rightly insists on? And we've been looking at that through the prism of our own particular apprenticeship programs, but it sparked a really good wider debate this morning about who should be leading apprenticeship programs. Is it the government? Is it employers? And I think there's always that tug of war, and us as training providers, we're in the middle and we need to always look both ways and please everybody.
And what's been the feedback from, you had a session today actually on that subject, so what's been the feedback from the audience around who should be the driver?
Yeah, so I think it partly depends on where you've started from. So you've got commercial training providers who've used the apprenticeship standards as a way of getting into this market because it's what their clients have wanted them to do. But you've also got sort of traditional providers, colleges, employment providers who've come from a slightly different perspective. So if you look at commercial organisations, they've always been employer-led, got no problem with keeping the customer happy. What's new and different is keeping the regulator happy. Whereas it's the exact opposite for some of the AEB providers. You know, they're used to dancing to the tune of funding rules whenever they're published, but they're less sophisticated or less used to giving employers what they want from a programme in terms of return on investment for commercial training.
And we're going through a time of political change. We've got a new Prime Minister on the way. That could potentially mean whole new ministerial support for the sector. What do you see the future to be for apprenticeships, for AEB, for work-based learning and employability?
Okay, well it's hard to know until we know who the Prime Minister is, but there's some key themes coming out in all of the debates around the new Prime Minister, and they seem to be really around Brexit and the root causes of Brexit. So how do we create an economy that lets everybody get the skills they need to succeed? So the people who voted Brexit, to paraphrase, how do we look after them? And people have been really encouraging about further education, about apprenticeships, about expanding that sector and our opportunity to do stuff there. And then also around devolution. So if we're not in the EU, how do we make sure we've got really strong cities, really strong regions, and give them some flex and control over training in a way that doesn't fragment the system, but actually allows them to respond to local needs?